Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday, and we are up to session 53 of Masks of Nyarlathotep. And we are a little bit late. Apologies for that, but we shall go around the table. Let us start off with Mr. Carter.
Alan Carter, mining engineer out of Lightning Ridge, Australia. Still sort of semi-sane, bruised and battered, and fingers crossed might make it to the end of the game.
It depends about your current snag, but we'll get onto that in a moment. We also have Mr. McNairn, an ex-reverend.
Yes, I am Andrew McNairn, a man who is trying to rekindle his faith. I also believe that I will get to the end of the game. Well, in so much as I will get to the end, I don't know whether that will be the end of the game or the end of me, but I will get to the end. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And we have Miss Lin Fen, who, for some reason, you swapped your name around.
No.
I thought it was Lin Fen, not Fun Lin. In fact, yes, it is, because it's Lin Yen Yu, so it's Lin Fen.
Right, what was the surname of the woman in Shanghai?
Lin.
Exactly. This is the British way of writing her name.
But you're not British!
Yes, I am. The character is not.
So
So I'm playing Lin Fen, and I am here in the group to bring some beauty to it, and I shall make the end of the adventure because I shall just buy it.
Didn't realize your credit rating was that high. And finally, we have the more authentic Chinese member of the group, Mr. Liu Zhao.
Most authentic, as in
As
in
your name is
Italian playing
correctly.
a Chinese character. Yeah.
No,
of
as in your
course.
name is correct.
Oh yeah, just because I copy and paste it from a character sheet every time I have session. So if it is right the first time, it will be on forward. But yeah, my name is Liu Zhao. I'm a former bounty hunter that couldn't live in China, in Shanghai anymore because of his backgrounds in the criminal life of the city. So he decided to embark in this journey in Australia. Maybe that wasn't the right idea. As of now, people are acting kind of racist towards me and my associate Lin Fen. And of course, I got my guns stolen. But that was about 2 sessions ago. Not the last one, the one before. As it comes to the summary, we were still looking at the warehouse in hope to find something cult related there. And if it wasn't for our beloved Lin Fan, we wouldn't. As in, she went inside of the warehouse trying to bargain some artifacts of religious interest. As in the man that I believe it was him that went by the name of Billy Bobaklong, something like that, was not that keen on culty stuff, sketchy stuff. He still let her in, where she found about a crate that was scratched with the initials AP. So of course, not being that into these amazing second personalities, we assumed it was about Sir Aubrey. So as the sun went down, we allowed our ex-reverend to be a distraction for the tenants of the warehouse while we went in. Of course, we opened the crate. We found a statue that was painted white, slightly humanoid shape, tentacles, fangs, and the total package, of course. We lose sanity, of course, and we find another crate that, as we found out, was to be sent to Mr. Gavigan. Mr. Penny doesn't need to know, but this is a gift for you, signed RH. As we found out, this was some sort of, it looked at the very least as some sort of telescope with iron and mirrors and such. So we snatched the idol, we snatched the telescope, and of course we are right out of the warehouse. We bring everything at our hotel, and our brave Mr. Cutter decide to have a look through the magnifying glass of this maybe telescope, we don't know, but all we know is that he came out in a vegetative state on the first instance, and when he came back to his senses, it was talking gibberish. He was able to understand sort of what was surrounding him, as in the general meaning of things. Couldn't walk properly, at least at the start, but we know he can draw, and that's all we know. As we knew that this artifact was of Yithian fashion, and having a contact Yithian spell, I learned it and contacted the Yithian. That said that now Alan's Alan's soul is now somewhere else, and that he swapped places with another Yithian that is conducting some kind of research. So until he is done, we won't be seeing Alan anytime soon. We just have to wait. This is what we are told. And that's where the session ended last time. Hopefully I didn't forget anything else.
There was your little escapade out into the tropical forests as well. After your
I felt the urge of shooting stuff.
After your
Let me be
seance.
like Granddad.
Well, it's not seance technically, but that's the closest you can comprehend. So yeah, you headed out into the wilderness. You wanted to relive your time with your, what was it, your granddad, who taught you how to shoot? Yeah. So yeah, we ended the session as you came back on the very early morning of Saturday the 27th, because it's been a couple of days since we started last session. Since you kind of wanted to wait possibly for Alan to return to normal, as it were. But anyway, yes, so it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun is coming up, and you're quite sort of scratched up in places, quite dirty as well. And you stagger back, feeling quite mentally drained and a bit of brain fog. You do vaguely remember, though, what happened. You can't really think why or kind of explain to yourself why you did that, but you presume it was in reaction to what happened last night.
Okay.
The others appear to still be sleeping.
Mm-hmm. So first I improve my luck.
You do indeed. With a D12.
Yes. That's a grand total of 12.
I just envisaged like some shifty guy by the front of the hotel going, "Do you want a D12 of luck?"
Oh yes, yes, please.
I think we should run the luck roll like it's Savage Worlds, and if you ace, you get to roll and add another D12 on.
No, not quite going there. Hello, Matteo.
Hello, Matteo.
Hello, Matteo.
Being a little bit tired by my escapade, as you defined it, being this 6 a.m., you said. If they're all sleeping, yeah. I, of course, take my place on the armchair in Alan's room and then try to get a couple of hours of sleep until everybody gets up.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where to go from there.
There are some people that are awake by now. But in terms of your party, they are still sleeping. You can smell whiff of like breakfast as well from the kitchen that they're starting to cook. So if you want to get something beforehand, then yeah, feel free. But if you want to sleep, that's also fine.
No, I'm sleeping.
Okay. So you sleep, and the rest of you come to to awake far more naturally, of course. You've had a much better sleep. It's a similar kind of situation with Alan in that you have to feed him in a similar way to yesterday, try and get him to eat something. Do you give him anything different or possibly more complex to eat, or do you stick with these sort of mundane carbs like porridge?
I think we have to have a serious discussion about putting him in a sanatorium until he feels himself again.
Yeah, I mean, that really gets to the point on when are we planning on leaving?
And by the
Because
way, everybody else notices that Liu is really scratched up, as if he's been in a fight or something.
What exactly do you do to yourself at night when you sleep?
I don't know, I had a walk.
Looks like you buried your face into something with lots of little tiny pricks.
I will do a very detailed drawing of Loon with scratches.
It's even better than the
You,
last one.
you went out for a little walk.
Yeah, and
Were you upside down? Were you walking on your head rather than using your feet? Because you're a bit scratched
I
up
don't
there,
know.
mate.
It was pitch dark, so maybe I hit a tree a couple of times.
Okay, so it's 2 people for a sanatorium.
Luckily for you, Lynn, it's the 2 ugly ones.
True. That would improve our average beauty quite a lot.
Oof. Wow, I'd hate to be a player in this game.
Yeah, that is terrible.
I wasn't saying it to the players. It's
I mean,
Lynn
it
who...
has its perks, but yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not that cool.
No. With regards to Alan being in a sanatorium, my worry is that if we keep him in one place, then whatever they want him for, they're not going to get done. So they're just going to keep on. They're just going to keep a hold of him. He could be in there he could be in there forever.
Also, if we plan on leaving, there's no way to communicate with him our whereabouts because we don't know how much time it will be
But
in the
this
sanatorium.
isn't Alan, this is something else.
And yet we need Alan. So either we wait or we put him in a sanatorium. Perfect. Fine.
Put him in a
And yeah.
sanatorium for a couple of weeks, go do the thing, come back for him.
I'll ignore your conversation completely.
But what's going to be really worried is when you start drawing pictures and you turn it round and you've actually got the words in speech bubbles and you're doing like cartoons of us. I'm reluctant to put them in a sanitarium because I don't think they'll actually be able to help, and I don't think it's actually going to solve anything. I think they need to see things, whatever they want to see.
About helping some alien creature. It's as long as they feed him, that's the thing. Like, keep his body alive until Alan gets back.
And yet we don't know if they're gonna hurt his body.
Giving him electric
or drugs or whatever. We don't know that.
That won't matter because
Be quiet.
that
you
won't
what?
matter because of the other side of it, he'll still, like, once Alan's back, he can just act normally again and be cured.
I am reluctant. Like I say, my real worry is that if he's in a sanatorium, he's in one place, There's only so much information they can glean from that one place, and they've made it pretty obvious that they're not letting them go until they get whatever they're after, which means
No, until they've finished doing what they're doing and learning. And if they get no new stimuli, then they're going to get bored and leave.
well, that's the hope.
No, no,
Are you saying no?
no. Stay.
Okay, so Mr. I don't know your name. Do you understand me? Do you understand us? Okay. Are you able to draw what you're after?
I'll just draw lots of different things, everything I've seen so far. But I'll just keep drawing everything I've seen.
Stimuli? What's stimuli? So if we keep him in a padded cell, get bored, go home, and we can have Alan back.
Or they kill him.
Well, then that solves the question.
Not for Alan, it doesn't.
Yes, it would. I mean, he'll stop asking any questions.
Alan might have something to say about the fact that his body is deceased.
Yes, and the longer he's out there, the more likely he's going to be deceased. So I suggest we bore this one until he leaves, I say, looking him straight in the eyes.
No.
I'd say we could bring him along, because if we find something else cult related, he may have information we do not have, and he might be able to
And
communicate that with us somehow.
Motivations we neither understand nor can trust.
I'll move closer to Lou and just pat him on his head.
No, don't. Yeah, I generally don't know. I would feel bad for Alan. Sorry, mate, I don't really care about you since I don't know you. If I left him to rot somewhere, given the fact that we are not sure that these beings think as we do. Yeah, I mean, we could bore them, but they live thousands of years. So I was told. So a couple of weeks will do nothing. It's a matter of minutes for them.
Yeah.
Not for Alan, not for his body, but for them, yeah, it's nothing. So it's kind of pointless to try and bore them to our standards, because they are on a whole other league.
Well, what do you suggest then?
Yeah, as I
Mr.
said, bring him
Alien
along.
expert. But
I'm not
now
an expert.
then-
I'm the only one who talked to them.
Then you're bringing along a creature we neither understand its motivations, cannot communicate with, and cannot trust into a situation that could be life or death, and we don't know how useful they'll be, or what their intentions are.
Or we could go on with our journey, one less member, and hopefully everything will plan out accordingly. We don't know anything about what we are going to face, where and when, especially when. I'm not saying that there is a right or wrong answer. I'm just saying that we both are right. We just need to
Yeah,
decide.
being rather presumptuous there, I think.
Yeah, it's always delightful talking to you.
I
Yeah,
go over to Alan.
Well, I find your mind about as beautiful as your face.
not flattering. A bit bitchy. Thank you.
Before I
Yeah.
go to Alan, I will pour a saucer of milk and give it to Lynn. For that, that was
Cats are lactose intolerant.
I'll,
yeah. I'm going to go over to Alan. You're not going to give us any trouble, are you?
no. And I'll open the window and try to step out.
Listen.
I
Since
I get him by his collar and sort of pull him back in. No. Sit.
Can I have an opposed strength roll from the two of you, please?
Ooh. That you may.
Okay, now Alan has both his legs broken. Sanatorium it is.
94.
Okay,
Which is,
maybe not.
which is what got me into this problem to start with.
It was, yeah. I'm assuming you got more than 94. Well, more, less, you know. what I mean?
A hard pass from me.
Okay, yeah. So you easily just scoop him back in.
Sit. Close the window.
I'll sort of stumble down onto the carpet and then realise, oh, I found carpet. Oh, brush it and sniff it and start crawling across the room, feeling the carpet.
Okay, mister, let's put it this way. We will show you a number of things you didn't see yet. You're gonna take and draw most of them, as much as you can, for the next, let's say, for the next week.
How
After
long is
this,
how long is the journey to Darwin?
You're in Darwin.
Oh, we're in
You mean
Darwin.
Port Headland?
Yeah.
Port Headland, yeah.
Port Headland is a good few hundred miles away, and you'll be traveling by boat, unless you want to go another way.
Were
That would be a bit bizarre.
were we going to go down the east coast first?
Oh, you mean because of
East
Sydney
Coast.
first?
Go to Sydney first.
That's the other side of Australia.
It is, and also there is that lead of
The
Johnny
professor
Big
from New
Bush.
York.
No, Johnny
Which
Big Bush is about 100 miles away south.
Yeah, that name's not getting any easier.
Big
Um,
Bush. Oh right, yeah. 'Cause
that name was difficult last week. It's not getting any easier.
The mind of a game developer.
I'll say that as a compliment.
I'm referring to our conversation before we came on air when we were talking about computer
No,
games.
not that kind of
porn.
game developer. Just.
because I was thinking we give him a definite amount of time to register information, study stuff, whatever they're doing. After the time expires, I said 1 week, it could be more, could be less. Or either we get Alan back or we render him unable to move and experience anything else, as in a sanatorium or whatever you see fit.
Well, I'll finish crawling across the carpet and I'll reach the table. And then I'll notice a book on the table, one of the books. I'll pick that up and flip through it and start copying.
Oh no, he's found one of your Gideon Bibles.
Copying the book.
It is a
Well,
work of fiction.
If he's found my Bible, yeah, there's a long discussion for later. If he's found one of my Bibles, that could keep him going for a while.
You don't know if he's copying out the whole thing, but he's definitely interested in trying to write.
Yes.
Copying the words. I'm going through it pretty quick.
Right. Yes. In the beginning,
There was Adam, Steve, and Eve.
Eve was his wife, and Steve was his bit on the side.
But yes, you have 3 possible leads for traveling long term. Yes, you've got Port Headland, where you know it's near to where shit's going down. You've got Sydney, where the professor's home is, and there's possibly some more info you can gather there. Although, yes, it is round completely the other side of the coast. And there's also this place up just 100 miles south of here, at Daly River, which was the guy who drew all the stuff that he possibly wants to check out. Yeah.
Sorry, for a moment there when you said 3 leads, I thought you were going to say it's Adam, Eve, and Steve. I was just.
Would you like to go to Adam or Eve or Steve? It's like one of those old north-south, type
But
man.
Scotty barbecue sauce, not having ribs with
Steve's the Midlands.
So you're proposing we travel with this alien for a week that is literally sniffing carpet and has just moved on to fondling paper.
Or we hospitalize him and we come back for him. As you wish. I don't really know.
I mean,
And I don't find your opposition kind of constructive. So if you want to hospitalize him, just do it.
well, I'm trying to find an agreement on what we should do. If we're going to travel with him, I mean, what do
I mean,
we?
it looks
How
big.
does
I just
that
say-
work?
Right. I'm not against the theory of hospitalizing him. My only worry is that without stimuli, they won't leave. They'll just hold on to him until they get out.
But there is no out on a sanitarium until they leave. That's the point of them, isn't it?
But if they don't see time quite the same way that we do, they may consider a few years of our time a mere snap of the fingers. They may be able to play a far more patient game than we can.
Well, whatever we have to do. I mean, but I'm not going to be his nurse. If we're going to travel with him, I suggest you hire a nurse.
I would agree.
Perfectly possible. And
Right.
actually, given Liu's state of mind, that might be for the best as well, if you want any help.
Yeah, I'm not really that centered. So yeah.
Let's find a nurse.
Okay.
Somewhere in
Let's-
Darwin.
Let's find a nice, pretty nurse
Called Steve.
called Steve, if necessary.
Beautiful, high cheekbones, chiseled jaw.
Yeah. Voluptuous breast. I mean, I'm just thinking about the fact that Lin puts a lot of stock in how good looking we are. If we're going to have a nurse, that he or she is going to have to be, to the standard of both their job and the aesthetic.
Yeah, you want a good-looking nurse, and it's Lynn's fault, obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's where I'm putting the blame. Not a problem.
Okay. Just to remind you as well, because you spent longer reading stuff about a possible solar eclipse is going to happen in the Pacific, you still haven't fully obtained your guns yet, but you can do that today now. So you are able to sort that out for Liu, for example.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
I'll hold the book up and just say, more.
War?
More.
Oh!
I
There
read-
is
actually,
plenty
what?
of war in the Bible,
I
but
tell you what.
We did pay
I'll
attention
go-
to that one.
Well, that escalated quickly. One look at religion.
Okay, right. I'll go. One of us come with me, and we'll get the guns. The other person take him to the library and just let him have at the books.
But guns and a nurse, because whoever's babysitting him is going to be babysitting him all day.
That's a good idea. We'll get the guns first because that way we can get a better price for the nurse.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, you are the only Caucasian here. Nobody's going to listen to either me or Lin,
that's why I'm going for the
Mademoiselle
gun.
Lin. So you're going to do most of things.
Yeah,
I heard cocaine for a second.
I'm not getting cocaine. That's way beyond my remit.
Right, somebody get guns, somebody get nurse, somebody take him to a library. Who's doing which?
I
I'll
can
do the
take him to
guns.
the library.
Okay, I shall try and
Easy.
find a nurse.
Oh, I'm going to love it outside.
I'm gonna love watching you trying to enjoy the outside. However, I'm gonna go and get the guns.
Okay. So
Licenses and guns.
let's deal with Liu and Alan then first. So, after some quick food and trying to feed him with something again, which is still quite difficult, you lead him out, and immediately, Alan, as you step outside into the sunlight, you're seeing all this more stimuli around you. Not loads, but it's still very different from a confined room. It's more open, and the smells and so on. But you make your way to, you think, what appears to be some sort of records house from your interpretation, which again is the library. And when you go in, Alan, you see that there are many, many more books.
Oh, I'll pick the pace up and rush in and just grab a few off the shelves just randomly and start pondering my arms and looking through what I've got.
You see a librarian look at you quite annoyed and then looks at you, Liu. Can you please keep him quiet?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm his sort of janitor, you could say. He was into an accident recently. Is not really able to behave properly since it was hit hard on the head. Apparently, he can still read. Is not really able to communicate and start and such. Again, I'm sorry if he caused any commotion. I'll try to keep it quiet from here on.
He looks a bit puzzled that he can supposedly read without communicating, but he kind of ushers you over to keep close by to him. Yeah, Alan, you find a load of different books, some big, some small, some with pictures in, some not, and I don't know if you get paper or something as well to copy things down or anything
I
else.
will do. I might even try copying one of the pictures in one of the books in the page of another book, just over the writing as well.
Oh, so you're actually defacing one of the books?
No. I try and stop him as soon as I see it. No.
No?
You write on your paper. You do not touch this big room paper. Okay? You can just doodle on your own. Is that clear? Please.
Your face is really hard to read now, Phil. I'm just like, is he? Okay. So I will leave you to that for a moment. Lin, a nurse, can I have a luck roll from you, please?
That is a pass.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So you head on out, and yeah, you've seen a couple of places that caught your eye coming in on the boat that you kind of make your way to as a starting point. And yeah, there does seem to be a small hospital, and you do see a couple of very good looking people there. Whether they're local or not, you're not entirely sure. They're definitely Australian, though.
I will approach one of the attractive ones.
Okay, yeah. So I'll say she's about 25-year-old. Nurse, quite experienced. She's running around a little bit, tending to a few different people, writing things down on a clipboard.
Hello, madam.
Hello, miss. Can I help?
I hope you can. I have a patient who requires personal attentive care over a few weeks period. We will be traveling. And I wondered if either yourself or if you knew somebody who would be looking for some private work.
Oh. She looks a little surprised at this, but she says, "Well, what sort of price are you willing to offer?"
Let me ask you in a different way. What do you get paid now?
Ooh, not that much, to be honest, and we are quite short-staffed as it is. So I've had to take on extra shifts. Maybe £2 a week.
£2 a week. Well, if I was to pay you £10 for 2 weeks, would that be worth you taking 2 weeks holiday from this place?
£10? Are you sure? How ill is your patient?
For 2 weeks. He needs a lot of close care, but it is one patient, and we will be traveling.
What's wrong with him?
He's a nutcase.
Oh, I see. I'm not a specialist with that side of things. I tend to do more in injuries and other physical ailments, but if that is quite enticing, I'm not going to lie, miss. All right, let me have a look at the shifts. Just if you wait here a moment, I'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
And yeah, she goes on back up to the front desk, and there's a little bit of a conversation you hear, but she comes back towards you and sort of straightens her petticoat and says, I think I might have just been let go. When would you like me to start?
Come with me.
Thank you. Well, can I have your name at least? I suppose we better break the ice, as it were.
I am Lin.
Right, Fenlin. Very nice to meet you. And she's like, you can tell that she's a little bit flustered from something, whether it was from what happened back there or the money, possibly. Charlotte. My name's Charlotte.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, all right. So do you take her straight back to the hotel, or?
Yes, a hotel and then walk to the library. I assume I'm going to find the other two somewhere on the way, and having not got there yet, possibly with Alan eating a plant.
Okay. Do you take Charlotte to the library with you, or what?
Yes, I think so. Or actually, no. First thing I'm going to say to Charlotte actually is, it would be an idea to pack for travel. And do you have a passport just in case? Although we're not planning to leave Australia.
Oh,
It might be an idea to have documents with you.
no, actually, no, I don't. Oh no. Am I able to get one if you're willing to pay?
It shouldn't be necessary. We're not planning to leave Australia in the next few weeks.
All right. Well, yes, that's good enough. Fine. I'll start packing then, Miss Lin Fen. Lin. Thank you.
Miss Lin.
Miss Lin. Okay, and Andrew, I'll say that because you kind of, or at least Alan kind of started things off for you, you get your guns fairly quick. And again, because you're British, it goes over just fine. There's no inappropriate questions or anything. Although you do get a couple of funny questions about, I guess the best way to put it is Australia-splained. So you're told about things like which snakes to avoid and where to find the best dingo and things for hunting.
Do you have some sort of documentation, a pamphlet of sorts with this information on it? It'd be most useful for an ignoramus like myself.
Maybe, mate. Give me a minute. And he goes kind of underneath his desk, and I'll say that he finds an old, rather kind of dog-eared magazine, which is like, I don't know, Australian Monthly or Darwin Monthly or something.
That's perfect. Oh, she's nice. Yes, that's love. That's perfect. Thank you so much. I'll pay him a little extra for the magazine.
Really? It's 6 months out of date.
But the information is contained within is timeless. Thank you very much for your time.
I suppose you could wipe your bum with it if you get desperate.
Well, you can't put a good price on good toilet paper. Well, speaking of, do you happen to have any copies of The Sun?
I'm just trying to think when The Sun came in and when it was actually... Wait, did it even get exported to Australia?
I'll forget that joke.
Yeah.
There's probably
1964, by the way.
No, right. Way out of date then.
Did you want anything else, mate? I do have a
No,
couple of general supplies.
that's perfect. I have my documentation and my guns, and yes. I suppose we could. I suppose we should be buying some shells. Is that what they call for the guns, the shotguns? Shells.
Yep.
Yes. A
Shells,
couple
yep.
of boxes of shells. A couple of boxes of them would be nice, I suppose.
Yeah. He gets you a couple of those, and
can't exactly shoot the dingoes with empty guns. Well, you could, but you're not going to get very far. Right.
probably best not to try that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless. It's a habit I'll have to break.
Okay. So yeah, you've now kind of got at least 2 guns. I keep thinking that Lynn needs a gun, but she doesn't. But anyway, you've got at least a shotgun and a pistol that you kind of either need to secrete on you somewhere, or you need to take it back to the hotel. You're muted.
I'm going straight back to the hotel first.
Okay. What I'll say then is that you let's say you bump into Lynn, and this rather good-looking young nurse who's been sent to pack.
Good day, madam.
Oh, hello.
My name is Andrew McNairn. I'm one of Miss Lynn's traveling companions.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I didn't assume that the 2 of you would be together.
Oh no, I was grabbing supplies.
Oh, right.
I'm just going to take these back to the hotel room. Have we? Is Lou back with Alan?
Is Alan this patient?
Yes, it's an interesting case. But I'm sure Miss Lynn will tell you everything. I'm going to head off at that point and head into the hotel.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you can secure your guns for now. And actually, you see that that member of staff from last night who's just started his shift, and he gives you a look, Andrew, and says, "How's your head today, mate?"
Oh, wonderfully clear. Wonderfully clear. Did the job just perfectly. Thank you so much for that. Yes, must deal with that. Yes, yeah. Down momentarily about that. Yes, wonderful. Best night's sleep I've had in months.
Good to know.
Secure the guns.
Okay. No problem. Right, so I guess you'll all convene back at the library. When you get in, I'll say that Alan is kind of at the end of this quite large table, and there are just stacks of books of all shapes and sizes, and he's been furiously taking notes and so on.
I just sort of
Um,
lean over and just say, "Told you it would work."
And actually, what I will say is that you've had more of an interest in the past, say, half an hour on the geography of Australia in particular. So you've been poring over large maps, looking at like regional things, stuff to do with the climate, nature, flora and fauna, things like that.
Okay, yeah.
Drawing kangaroos and stuff.
And as I finish with a map, I've got this big map book, huge thing. I just bam, slam it shut and throw it to one side and pull out another book.
Oh, Struth! What did I tell you? And she's wagging her finger at you, Liu.
just
Again,
embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I'll try and speak with him, but sometimes he doesn't understand.
And
Again-
then you
again,
see the
I'm sorry.
librarian spot Andrew and kind of recognize him from a couple of days ago. It's like, oh God, you're all here now, aren't you? Are you planning to stay for the whole time again today? I mean, you were quiet. He gestures to you, Andrew, but
Hello there again.
at this rate, he's going to get through the whole bloody library. He's reading through furiously. You were right about one thing. He can still read.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
apparently so. Yeah. It's really the only thing that keeps him sane, maybe at least occupied. Because of course I spoke with this lovely lady about the accident that Alan had, the big hit he had to the head, so that he's not able to comprehend properly social surroundings or speak.
Yes, the big hit. Yes.
That's a polite way to describe falling on an artillery shell. You read that article as well recently.
Oh, that was an actual thing that happened.
Yeah.
It happened the other day. Some guy fell on an artillery shell.
I was sat on it. Yeah, no,
He
I
had to
did
go
read
to
that.
hospital for it
Yeah.
to be removed from his rectum by bomb disposal. Yeah. He fell on the artillery shell. He was cleaning whilst naked, apparently.
Well, clearly he didn't want any grime on his clothes. I mean, I can understand him. You know, the whole. No, I don't understand it at all. I'm just trying. Did he fall on lube on the way down?
No, that's why he's in this state and can no longer speak.
We needed help getting it out again anyway.
But no, I obviously won't crack that joke in character. I'm sorry. Yes, the accident, terrible accident. We have a nurse now. Is she here, or is she back at the?
I thought you wanted to leave her back there, but
Okay.
I don't mind either way.
At some point, we'll get together and I introduce the nurse. It's the basic.
Or sketch her as well.
Oh, that's very good. When did you learn to do that?
It seems to have been a thing since his accident. He no longer speaks other than saying the word no badly. He needs new stimuli. It's like a child. He needs
Oh.
constant new stimuli.
I see. Well, I suppose if we're traveling, that won't be too much of a problem. He'll have lots of sights to see.
Hmm.
But yes, I have heard of things like that. You can have the mind of a child if there's lots of trauma. Although his head seems extremely intact. You said it was a shell that he fell on.
No, it was. There was a terrible accident, a beating actually.
She starts actually. She comes around the back of you, Alan, and she actually starts like peeling back your hair to see if there's any kind of mark or wound or anything.
I'll stop exactly what I'm doing. Just
It's all right. It's okay. I'm just checking. Not gonna hurt you. There's nothing here.
Not now, no.
Oh, was this a while ago?
Yeah, several time ago. Yeah, a lot of time ago.
I sort of head up to say, the truth is, he saw a bit more than he expected to see during the war. It recently it started to come back to him and hit him hard, and hence his current predicament. We don't. That's why we try to keep him away from guns and stuff.
Right. Well, that's fair enough. But I'm impressed about how well he's healed.
Well, physically he's doing very well, but obviously his mental state has not quite caught up with his physical healing.
He's an idiot.
I'm sure he's in there somewhere.
I want to pull open a big atlas and show it to Lin, and point to like Sydney as a go.
Yes, it's a map.
Well, he is pointing to Sydney specifically.
No, you're here, the other side, and I tap where we are. You're here.
Do you want to go to Sydney?
Go.
Okay, he's learned a new word.
Is your friend
new letter?
Your friend sounds Australian. Are you
Yes.
Australian?
Yeah.
He might just be agreeing.
Well, maybe is that where he used to live?
I'll circle the map. Australia. That's right.
Well, he lived somewhere.
Yes, he lives. Yes, he lives here. Yes.
Yeah, it's weird having conversations with him, as you can tell.
Well, still, your friend here. I'm not.
Honestly, earlier he thought he was from another planet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, right.
As you can see, he
still
is,
£10 a week. You're charging very good wages.
Well,
Yeah,
he's going to require a great deal of care. We will have some business to attend to in Sydney, and we really need someone who is experienced and qualified to look after him whilst we attend our business.
Well, I'll be definitely doing Sydney next because I would like to find this John Big Bush at the Daly River.
It
It's
is
only
the
100
closer.
miles away.
Yeah, it is the closer.
And then we've got
far closer.
Mortimer Wycroft to find in Concudgery.
Yeah, I would before we hit that, as much as it's going to be going one way and then back the other. We go to Concudgery. That's pretty much where that jewel on that map is.
Mm-hmm. So you want to do Sydney first?
Yeah, I want. if Sydney has any information at all that can lend anything at all to us for going to Conchudgery, I think we've got to catch it.
How far is Cumcudgery from the Dally River?
Concudgery is very close to Port Headland, so it's a good few days down by boat. So you might as well go to Port Headland first, and then you just go inland a little bit.
Right.
Or actually, it's a bit sort of southish, but it's still inland.
Who was in Port Headland? Was that John Carver? Is it? I've written names down. I haven't written why I've written them down.
Let me
Mining
just...
equipment was Mortimer Wycroft.
Yes. So yeah, that was Concudgery specifically.
Yeah.
Port Headland. I can't remember if you just suggested of.
There were bodies near Port Headland.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, there was some. Well, they weren't bodies found, but they were kind of brought in from the desert, or brought out rather, since they couldn't go out. Those were some sort of rumors that you found out in the bar.
Why have I written down John Carver? I don't know.
John Carver was the guy who employed your date to dig that shaft and then go home.
I don't like the fact that guy's now called my date, but okay.
Well, yeah, but you remember who it is. So. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, we could go to Sydney before investigating the guy who sold mining equipment.
I agree with you that there is too much. It can't be a coincidence that there's been a shaft dug exactly or pretty much in the area where that jewel is on that map. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Oh my God, you really are basic.
I know.
Why have we gone back to that? Of course that's a connection.
I turn to the nurse and say, you will discover that Miss Lin hasn't exactly grasped the concepts of tact and subtlety yet.
Well, have you been together long? I suppose if you're comfortable talking to each other like that.
Yeah, she doesn't really care.
Not as long as you think. So I would, as much as it's going to be a drag to go all the way to Sydney and then come all the way back again, I'd rather hit Sydney before we go to that place.
Sydney is to talk to Professor Anthony Cowles.
Well, perhaps. It depends if he's actually there or not.
Who might be in America where he lives and works.
Yes, but his any work notes that he has may still be here.
That was the possible lead, yes, that there might be stuff here, but him himself might not be there.
Yeah.
So at his daughter's house, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, no, he has his own house here, well, rather in Sydney.
Okay, right. Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like a bit of a grasping at straws, but we can try it.
It could be a long journey for bugger all. I admit it.
It could.
Well, there is that.
I thought a telegram was already sent, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
A couple of sessions ago.
Yes, and I actually forgot all about that.
Yes, it was.
That's why we haven't had a reply.
Oh God, I can't even remember what you put. Jesus. I mean, I know it was for him, but can you remember what you put?
I think it was basically to.
Are you there? Hello.
We are here. Hello.
We are here. Are you there? We'd love to meet. Thank you.
We didn't specify what was actually in the telegram, I don't think.
But that was it.
And
I think.
you spent it to Sydney, didn't you? You didn't send it to New York.
Yeah.
Sydney, yeah, because we wanted a quick reply, so I'm just sending.
Yes. Okay.
If you want to know what's in it, we could have always said that perhaps we caught his lecture in New York and wanted to talk to him about it, so maybe something like that.
Okay, no, I did have a plan for this. I've just not actually written anything down. Let me just think for a second. I'll say that you do get a telegram back. However, it's not signed from Professor Cowles. It's signed by somebody called D. Dodge. And it's quite a brusque telegram, even for a telegram, I guess, and just says, the prof is not here. He is still teaching in New York. Is there anything I can help with?
New
Oh, we're in
York.
a library. Is there any reference here to a D. Dodge of Sydney?
Also, he wasn't teaching in New York.
Beg your pardon, Arkham. He was
Okay.
technically for a time, but yeah, sorry, Arkham. I mean, you could go back to the library and do some research on a Mr. D. Dodge.
Sorry, I thought I was
Who's a
in the
mister?
library.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
still
guess
in the
we're still
library.
there.
Okay, then.
So yeah,
you-
has this person written any books or published any papers?
Give me a library use roll.
I will be assisting. You want me to roll as well?
Yeah. No, it would be a bonus die for whoever's taking the lead.
Why don't you go take the lead and I'll search. You lead. I'll help.
Okay. So my library use of 40 is
With a
going
bonus
to be
die.
the one with the bonus die.
Yeah.
God help us all.
I don't understand this Dewey Decimal System. Point me in the right direction.
Would an extreme pass help?
Certainly, yes. Okay. So, almost straight away, you see the name Dodge on kind of embossed lettering in the archaeology system. It's
Ooh.
quite a thin book, and you assume that he's like a professor of some kind or a lecturer, and it's sort of general stuff that he's written to do with a couple of archaeological digs he's either overseen or studied in Australia. Nowhere particularly, close to where you want to be. Let's say more towards the Sydney area, like in the
Okay.
bush, that kind of thing.
Any mention of our professor friend in the literature?
I'm going to say no for this book, but again, it's
Okay.
quite a general book. There's definitely nothing cultish or malicious sounding in here.
It's
Right.
fine.
We'll put it in
I
front
show the
of,
book.
Yeah, in front of Alan's eyes, because you never know. We might be able to actually pump him for information later if he's got something to cross-reference. If he ever develops speech.
I'll go straight through the book and making notes and
Absolutely, we get the best copy system ever.
and if there's any descriptions, I'll try and actually draw out whatever it is from the description.
Alan Carter has went from muscle to stenographer.
Hold on, let me think. Just writing Phil something.
Okay, a message from the other side.
It's in Morse code. I can hear the tapping.
Must be a big message.
Well, I'm trying not to give too much away. That's the thing.
Oh,
Okay. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'll look at I'll peer up at you a couple of times of reading Dodge's book and I'll carry on writing stuff down.
Okay. So what I'll say is, whilst you don't get a specific address for Dodge, there is a picture of him in the back, kind of like an artist's rendition of him, author sort of thing, and it gives a little biography about him.
We got his with the book. We got his publisher's address.
Yes. Although there's none in the book here specifically, but I'll just say it's a fairly well-known Sydney publisher of the time.
We could trace him through the publisher, luckily.
Yeah, you could actually.
University Press or something.
Yes, that's a good point. University Press. But he appears to be middle-aged, although he looks a bit young for his age. Maybe just quite a lot of physical stuff. And he still works from time to time at the university, from what it says in the biography. He specializes mostly in kind of stonework and sort of ancient structures, shall I say. Oh, actually, beg your pardon. One thing I forgot to miss. I'll say that it says that he grew up in Western Australia.
Aha. This is a cultist. Let's go meet him.
Western Australia's a cultist.
Dear. And on that note, let's take a break.
All right.
I see what Alan has done there. Hello.
Hello.
I was just trying to work out how long it'll take you to sail to Sydney and how on earth that's going to cost you. Oh, I think I got it.
It is pretty much the exact opposite side now from where we are.
Yes, indeed.
For what could be for nothing, but you know what scares me? We don't go, and we head to that shaft, and we find out afterwards, the keeper informs us that an important clue we could have got was sitting in Sydney. And we're dead because we didn't get that important clue in Sydney.
I mean,
I wouldn't word it so crudely.
I was
paraphrasing.
It's a bit if you know whether or not to go to Sydney, but as soon as you know that the guy was from Western Australia, I think it's worth going to see him.
I worry about not having all the information before we go to this mine shaft.
Yeah, also going there beforehand without the capstone, without anything, it's close to useless.
That's a good point. And we've got months anyway, haven't we?
I've got a feeling that's going to get eaten up fairly quickly with travel.
With travel, it will, yeah.
But yeah, also, I wouldn't procrastinate it that much. Also because sooner rather than later, they'll figure out where all the boxes went. And maybe get a hold of them again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have 7 months, but I wouldn't wait until the very last minute to sort things out.
Well, like Giorgio said about the capstone, we've got to come up with all this blood from somewhere.
Well, I've had an idea about that.
Oh, good. Are you going to test the church's faith?
No. No, I'm going to do something. No, it's such a simple idea. It's possibly too simple, but
is it that you wait for Alan to come back into his real body, you then bloodlet as much as you can out of him, but keeping him alive?
No, nothing.
Look inside the telescope again, so he gets sucked back in, and then wait for him to come back. That's all over again, and just do that.
No, I was thinking we could set up a blood drive for blood transfusions. Just have people come in and give a little blood. We could get a whole fucking queue of them willingly giving blood.
Okay.
They don't need to know that it's going into this onto the capstone. We just tell them they're giving blood to help the health of the nation. Completely free will. Yes, I'm aware that we they have to be nice and innocent and pure, but we can't have everything.
There might be a few logistical problems, but that's not the craziest idea you've come up with.
Well, did you come up with that idea since we've got the nurse, or?
No, I just come up with it right there and then.
I mean, you need to prevent the blood from clotting, at least for a while.
But I can just see it. We've got the room out the front where we gather all the blood, and in the back of the building, you've got this rite going on at the same time.
Yeah. Don't worry about the singing, folks. It's just someone entertaining you.
We're back onto a church.
Yeah. Get the gospel singers going. Yes, there are some logistical problems, but it's a possibility worth considering.
Is it though?
The first spanner was thrown.
I'm just going to stop coming up with ideas.
Well,
And
you
then-
kind of need to get it past quality control as well.
What have I walked into?
I would call it a moment of genius. The rest of the players clearly have called it, it's one of Ronnie's weird ideas again.
I said it
Clearly,
wasn't weird. I said there were a few logistical problems potentially.
I think there's a lot of logistical
Legal
problems with it, but
We're
I
just
think that-
discussing where to get the blood from.
Logistic problems.
I think there's a lot of problems. But then again, no one's come up with anything on how to do this at all.
I came up with one idea: send Alan to the sanatorium.
No, we're actually talking about the blood for the capstan.
Yes,
On how to
me too.
acquire it.
You can go and make friends.
I don't know if they count as willing though.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't be.
Mm.
No.
What if we pay people?
Then their motives wouldn't be pure.
Aren't they?
No, not
Western
necessarily.
civilization's built on profit being pure.
Well,
America
just to remind
is
you
built
that
on the premise of God and money.
you think that pure pertains to their exposure to things that we don't quite understand, rather than if they're a bit greedy.
Yeah, Ronnie's idea was to have some sort of blood drive to get people to donate blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to sit there through the whole ritual, though, don't they? You know, what we did in Shanghai kind of worked.
Shanghai is going to turn out to be the easiest one, I think.
Yeah. But we'll deal with it when we get there. I mean, but we're not facing this issue just yet. But
No,
yes,
but
you're right. It's good to be mindful of it.
Yes,
but-
it is. And like I said, there are loads of weird and wonderful ideas lots of players have come up with. So it's exciting to see what you do. But in any case, yes, you have a journey to partake in. 2,565 nautical miles worth, since you're going around the coast.
Right, are we doing this? Are we doing this river thing? Are we going to find Big Bush first?
Oh, yes.
No, I thought you were insisting on Sydney, and we were all bowing to your whim.
Well, it was
the obvious that you know, obviously we should do the river thing and find this guy first. I mean, you know, it's too close for us to not just go there and
Zhao,
deal with that
Zhao,
first.
however you say her name. What do you think? What lead would you like to investigate first?
You're talking to Charlotte.
No, Giorgio.
Zhao, Liu Zhao.
Oh,
We got 3 leads.
Yeah.
We got the Aboriginal artist by the Daily River, and the machine parts retailer in Camrudgery.
Concudgery.
Yeah, sure. That could be a cult base, might not be. And we've got the cultist archaeologist.
Yeah, I was legitimately thinking about this, and since we are sailing to the other side of where we are now, it'd be worth a shot to do stuff in between if we're able to easily reach
It's
those
which
places.
way the boat goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're going to Sydney, it'll still go around the east coast.
Around the
By-
north.
Via
So past the Great Barrier Reef.
via Brisbane and the Gold Coast and all Queensland. Go down to Sydney. The only thing about the Daly River is it's not really on the coast anywhere. It's basically straight down south. So still inland, unfortunately.
Quite a lot of rivers are dry for most of the year, aren't they? They only flood during wet
Well,
season.
the Daly River is a region in Australia. It's not
Okay.
literally a river. There would be a river because it's quite it's still tropical, climate and stuff, as is all of Top End. But yeah, you would get there by road or something like that. Actually, yeah, probably road is the most logical way, I would imagine. Or yeah, you could go straight round to Port Hedland, which would be west, and that would be sailing as well.
I don't recall whether it was last time or the time before, but you explained to us, Jason, a little bit of the time distance of this location traveling by car and not by boat. Or am I mistaken?
I did say that there was a road that goes south to Alice Springs, which is nothing more than a dirt track. To Daly River, it's about 100 miles. If you're sailing round the coast to Port Hedland, that would take you several days. In terms of going there by road, it would take you considerably longer because there's no sort of major roads.
Okay.
At this point, they like Darwin and Port Hedland use the sea to get anywhere. In terms of getting around to Sydney, depending on how expensive you want to travel, it's going to take you 1 to 2 weeks. There's certainly no shortage of boats. In fact, what I'll say, since you've been in Darwin a couple of days, you realise that in terms of local shipping companies, they are in abundance and they're doing very well for themselves. So there's no issue with that at all.
And from this port place, how long is it until we reach Sydney? If we were doing
Port
the other way
Hedland.
around. Yeah, sorry.
I
I cannot fix that name in my head.
No, it's fine. It's really ambiguous in this book, which is why I was trying to find out on Google Maps, because it says, oh, it won't take you any longer than a few days, but somehow I'm disputing that if you're going that far. I would imagine it will still take you another week or two to then get all the way around. Well, actually, maybe a week tops, actually, because Sydney's kind of on the southeast, isn't it? So, yeah, about a week.
So I do believe that if we are looking to save time, it is maybe best if we go to this again. I'm not able to remember it. Port place first and then move to Sydney, rather than moving to Sydney and then all the way back.
Now,
Trouble
Port
is you could-
Hedland,
Hedland.
remind me,
Okay, I'm
Port
writing it
Hedland.
down.
that's where the bodies were found. No, returned to.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the bodies were about. But that
River
Port
Road.
Hedland is in Cymragery, yeah. That's where the Mortimer Winecraft with the mining equipment.
It's close to it. It's not the same place. No.
That's the port. That's the port stop for Concudgery.
Yeah.
Port Hedland
Right.
and go inland. Yeah.
Okay, and then you go inland a bit more to get to the Daly River region.
No.
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 So remember, Australia is fucking huge. Darwin's right at the very tippy top. 100 miles is literally like a finger's width south.
Right. So if we're going to do the Daily River, we should do that while we're in Darwin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
let's do that
definitely.
first.
Yeah.
Then.
As I'm saying, it's too
Let's do it
close
before
for us
we
to
leave.
ignore it. Yeah. And
Because
then,
we're not likely to come back to Darwin.
No, yeah,
No.
that's no point.
well, yeah,
So
I
let's
mean,
rent a car or a truck.
Yeah, it'll take you sort of 2-3 days there and back.
Let's rent a couple of lorries, basically, or trucks or whatever, covered backs and stuff. Gives us enough space for supplies and a bit of comfort, and somebody can always rest in the back and that kind of thing.
Okay. No problem. Fortunately, again, because it's all still top end, it's not, desert weather or anything like that. So whilst it's quite hot in the hottest parts of the day, midday and so on, it's not nearly it's not incredibly bad as long as you've got plenty of water supplies and things. The nurse Charlotte does keep an eye on Alan as well. And would you be reading some more, Alan? Do you
I'll
take
be
any books
reading-
along with you?
Yeah, whatever I can get.
Okay.
Also, newspapers and magazines. It's in the foyer. I'll pick them up as I'm passing.
Actually, yeah. What I'll say is you spot Andrew's magazine that he picked up from the rifle store.
Ooh, pictures.
Plenty of pictures. So I'll say that there's a couple of things in there about Sydney. One article about Perth as well. So you peruse through that, and Charlotte's quite fascinated by how much you're taking in, almost like you're learning it all over again. And she's happy to kind of keep chatting to you, and she's actually quite relieved that you're not being too much of a problem, as long as you have like books and things. Although there's one point where you do get quite travel sick from staring at pages all day, so she has to sort that out. But actually, are you hiring people to drive you there, or is somebody going to do it, or are you going to take turns to drive?
Are we treating this as an expedition? I don't know if we are we? We're just popping out for a few days and coming back.
The only thing is, if we're taking turns, then I think we should only take one truck. Because Alan can't drive. The nurse
can't
is
drive.
standing to him.
There's
I can
5
drive
of us
fairly well.
and 3 seats in a truck. You can lie down in the back or whatever and get some rest, but there aren't seats unless we get a bus.
No, the only reason I say it is how do we split driving shifts between 2 cars and 3 drivers?
We do not.
Somebody's
100
always
miles
at rest.
is not that much.
But I'll be very interested in the vehicles as well.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
as
offer
long
about
as you
5
don't touch
minutes.
anything.
You offer about 5 minutes, but really they're quite basic methods of travel. Okay.
Up to you guys.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
take a couple of trucks and power our way through.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. It's not an expedition, but it's still a good couple of days there and back, because you're not going 100 miles an hour sort of thing. It's the 20s.
We're going to find Big Bush.
If we average 10 mile an hour, that's a long day.
And it's still like 25 degrees, 26 degrees, so you'll need plenty of water, food and things.
So a couple of trucks in case one breaks down, loads of water and supplies because we've got plenty of space for it all, and just set off. And it's a long day.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okay.
But, we'll take a break and stuff, and we'll be fine.
Okay. So essentially, yeah, you do manage to go to start with on some more kind of smooth riding. Interestingly, I just saw on the map there's a place that you pass called Humpty Doo, which is a brilliant name. But then you start getting on more kind of dirt tracks as you go deeper into the tropics, and you do see quite quickly that there is a river called the Daly River, although it's more to the northwest of where you are, so you don't follow it direct. The actual place called Daly River is right in the south of this region of Australia, near to a place called Mount Nankar. Yes, Nankar. Interestingly, although you don't climb or anything, you're kind of sitting in the valley when you arrive. Alan, you've been very interested in reading your book. Also, seeing all the trees and hearing all the birds and noises and so on, kookaburras and things. So you're kept nice and occupied. And eventually you arrive, and you notice that the main thing here, that it's a pretty small place. You don't even know if there's a hotel, even if you wanted to stay, but there's certainly a couple of watering holes. There's definitely a market for a lot of kind of hiking and camping sort of things. There's a couple of places and markets along here that do sort of camping gear and things like that. But it's a very pretty little town.
So we've arrived in Daly River.
You have arrived in Daly River, yes.
Awesome.
It's, although I will say it's getting to about sunset, so you won't be having much light left.
Let's sort out a place to stay.
Mm-hmm. Have a nice meal, and then we will think of everything else tomorrow, I'd say.
Well, it might be an idea to check out the local bar tonight while there's people in it, in order to ask around for our guy. His name is Johnny Big Bush.
All right, Big Bush. How could I forget?
But so we could ask around tonight in a bar. But yes, let's get a meal inside us and sort out rooms for the night. Preferably one with a lock on the door for our man-child.
Well, pretty much the only place that looks remotely hospitable for such a thing is the bar, which is called the Victoria Bar. There seems to be quite a lot of places in Australia called Victoria or named after Victoria, oddly enough. It seems like the main place for people to go get a few drinks, converse, and so on. It's not rowdy, but it's still quite busy around this time. You presume it's because it's getting towards dinner time.
Hello.
You get a little bit of a stare, especially the two Chinese members of the group. But
White man.
Yep. How you doing?
you actually you do see that there, whilst you were kind of parking up, or say that there were a few Aboriginals as well. And actually, now that you're inside the pub, interestingly, there's sort of a couple of sort of seating areas near the back of the pub that appear to be Aboriginals, more indigenous people as well. And but there is a white guy serving at the bar. Well, travelers, I guess.
Yes.
Are you wanting drinks, food, rooms?
All of the above. Yes. Drink, food, rooms.
In that order?
Well, food and drink together, yes. Then
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Where are you from? Well, apart from Scotland, obviously.
All over, really. We're doing the off-road look at Australia. We want to take a look at the real Australia, not the big cities on the coasts. That's not the real Australia. That's Australia trying to look like America or Britain. We want to see the real Australia.
Well, you come to the right place, mate. There's plenty of trekking you can do around here, and absolutely lovely woodlands and things.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, we'll get settled with rooms, and like to get a meal set up for us all. And there's 5 of us all together. There's myself, 2 other gentlemen, 2 ladies.
Yeah, he gives Charlotte in particular a good sort of look up and down, and
To which I say, myself, 2 gentlemen, 2 ladies.
You appear to have egg on your string vest, sir.
damn it, I thought that was clean on this morning. I suppose
room?
I can. Yes, I can get 2 rooms. Are all of you going to dine together?
Of course.
Well, I suppose I can deal with that. We're not a gentleman's club here.
Good. That's wonderful. Yes.
And the Molochs will get annoyed with me otherwise.
What is a mollusk? A type of fish or clam?
Don't say that too loudly. No, the Molochs.
What,
What
does this word mean?
The Aboriginals over there.
Oh, you mean the
Local people.
the indigenous population?
Yeah. You know that there are Aboriginals all over Australia, right?
Yes, it's one of the interesting things we wanted to see about the real Australia. Meet some real Australians.
Right.
I can do tactless as well, you know.
Yeah, he tries
Just
to.
after the hunting list
He
along
tries
with
to
me
pretend to
and
ignore you. Anyway, rooms.
Yes.
So he slaps down a couple of keys for you, and you foot the bill. We have a bit of bison left if you want some of that. Lovely roast bison.
Oh, yes, we'll have some of that. Yes. Lovely.
Yeah, roast veggies.
Of course. All the trimmings, as they say.
Yeah, you can actually see like just sort of through the back. There's quite a lot of smoke going up on some sort of big open fire that they're cooking outside, and you can really
I'd
smell
like
it.
the most authentic food possible. Do you have anything burnt and bland?
We're not Sydney, love.
If we're going for a tactless contest, I'm just going to concede to you right now.
Okay, so yeah, you get some food and drink and so on, and yeah, you can obviously take your stuff up to your rooms as well. Yeah, Alan, you're struggling to start with the food, but you're getting better now at eating more kind of solid food. But the meat is a bit confusing to start with.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to eat too much meat, but I'm going to be very distracted watching all the interactions with different people in the bar.
Yeah, that's the way. The other thing we need to discuss is sleeping arrangements.
Well, you were given 2 rooms.
Use a bed.
And the new tactless champion. No,
Yeah,
no.
I'd say you and
But
I, Andrew, are sleeping together. Charlotte and Lin are sleeping with Alan.
Yeah. Well, that was the point. The nurse has to be in the same room as Alan.
No,
So
that would be indecent.
I was going to say
You can
that'll go
look
down
after
well.
Alan overnight.
Yeah,
All right, so you get a good night of sleep while we watch over Alan instead of the person we hired to.
We're going
Give
to
a
have.
host some time off to actually rest.
I do think
we're-
when I go to sleep, I do
Seems
tend
fair.
to sleep.
Well, it's £10. I'm happy to earn my pay.
No.
I'm not asking you to sleep with the gentleman. I'm not here to sully your reputation. I know you white people care a lot about that. Although, if you want me to sully your reputation, I'm more than happy to.
I thought you were nothing like your mother. Or maybe you're coming round. I don't know.
Miss,
Did I ever say that?
Nurse, do you have
You can
given
call me Charlotte, sir.
Charlotte? Do you have any sort of a sleeping draft you might use on some of your more
Yes,
agitated patients?
yes. I've got plenty left. I didn't need to use any.
Please
Alan's
don't
been.
let him near your sleeping draft.
I'm
Andrew
not
is
going
something
any-
of an addict and has a habit of putting it in other people's drinks.
I am not going near the sleeping draft. I will not be putting it in anyone's drink.
I
Charlotte
thought
is
you.
going to put it in Alan's drink. That's what she's getting paid
But-
for.
No. Look, just
Look, no,
he's going to
we've got to
sleep
look after
too.
him, and we want a restful night's sleep. It's the only way it's going to happen. It's either that or we're tying him to the bed.
By all means, tie him to the bed. I mean, that seems like the least drugging someone solution. So,
I thought you said you used to be a vicar.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Um,
It was like a priest 2 days ago, and now he's drugging people.
I was a soldier before I was a minister. And now I'm not currently a minister, so the soldier is coming back out to play.
Well, begging your pardon, but I thought that soldiers sat in trenches. They didn't assassinate people. Well, I suppose maybe some of them did, but I didn't think you were that type.
I have no interest in assassinating anyone. I'm asking for a small sedative to help Alan sleep. I'm not asking for him to be drugged incoherently or poisoned or bludgeoned. That's what's going to
Andrew.
happen possibly if we don't get the sleeping draft.
he
But
hasn't
that's
been any bother whilst we've been watching him for the days previous to us having a nurse on hand.
This is what I was saying. As long as he's got something to read, he seems all right.
oh well.
I'm sure you'll be fine looking after him for one night. Just when you wake up in the morning, try not to stay sleeping in bed and leaving him bored and agitated and wandering off. That's the only thing you've got to watch out for is don't sleep in. There's two of you. I'm sure you can manage.
Fine.
See, Lou was all for the sleeping draft thing. He wanted a nice night's sleep and all.
I just don't think we should be drugging.
Even if it is an alien.
Our compatriot alien. You were worried that a sanatorium would pump him full of drugs and leave his body physically damaged. And you're suggesting that, well, because you've got to look after him, you'll make your life easier.
There is a distinct
You worried he's
difference.
going to anal probe you in the night.
That's what you're thinking.
If he has a shell, then yeah, he could.
I'm just there'll be no pages rammed up there. I can assure you, there'll be no reason for him to anally probe me.
This has definitely been a morally questionable session.
No morals questioned here. The difference between us and a sanitarium is a sanatorium would probably have seen him and kept him drugged 24/7 on something really powerful that would have really had him sitting there drooling all the time. All I'm asking is a small sedative to help him sleep.
I don't have any trouble sleeping.
Seem to have trouble sleeping.
I'm under the impression that he'll probably be tired come sleeping.
I hope so.
If he does get noisy in the night, or if he's restless, then yes, I can give him something, but I'm only going to give him a small amount because, like I said, I haven't needed to use it really. The only time I did was when he threw up his dinner from reading in the car all the time.
Very well. I'm nothing if not flexible.
Okie dokie. So just give me a second. Ooh. Okay, that's quite appropriate, actually.
He burned the place down.
Actually, I will be interested.
Yes, he's a murder hobo.
I will be interested, since I'm originally in the bar, and how they act and react and speak to each other is different to the white people in the bar. It was different again to people in this group.
Well, they're keeping fairly quiet. They're not actually drinking, certainly at the speed that the white people are drinking. You notice that quite quickly. The white people as well, they tend to have like beer and maybe like a chilled wine as opposed to something stronger. But actually, Liu, whilst Andrew and Lin are bickering at each other, you notice that there are a couple of people, two white people, who are trying not to stare at Alan, but you realise that they are. I gave you a spot hidden a tick, by the way.
Who was that?
Liu.
Oh, okay. Already had it ticked, so thank you. Of course, I tell them. I tell the others, and I don't think I feel comfortable, and I keep an eye on them myself.
What's Alan doing to justify someone staring at him, though?
Is he
Yeah,
staring
it was-
back?
He's quite engrossed in other stuff. He's not noticed that they've stared.
Yeah,
Or if he
what's
has, he
Alan
doesn't care.
doing?
I'm looking at. While I'm eating, I'm very engrossed in the interactions of the people around me, how they're communicating and acting and their behaviour.
So you're looking out to other groups in the bar
Mhm.
and staring at
But
them.
all around, not just
Yeah.
one.
And then they're staring back. So
No, it's basically there's a few sort of larger groups that are chatting. There's the Mullocks as well that he's looking at. These two that Liu has spotted, they're just by themselves and they're a lot quieter. They're just drinking beer. And actually, when they realize that you're now looking back at them, they kind of turn back around, keep to themselves, and try not to look around any further.
I can approach them, as in excusing us for our friend behavior, saying that blah blah blah, and then maybe try and get some information from them. I don't know if they'd speak to me though, so it is better if maybe Andrew went.
It's up to you. But you're the only one who's spotted this. I know that you said that
but
you'd spoken to the others, but yeah.
Yeah, and still I don't know, given my racial background, if I'd be of any use.
if it offends them that you would speak to them, then I strongly suggest that you do, because that issue is theirs.
Well said.
Yes, but we're trying to acquire information, not change minds. I really have no interest in changing anybody's minds.
Well, why don't we start with the native population of the bar? Because the person we're after is native, and as far as I can see, these people seem to be quite segregated, so I think that might be a more fruitful place to start.
All right.
I've got a feeling actually that they will more likely talk to you two than me for that reason.
Quite possibly.
Let's see. I
We'll both go over.
excuse myself and I reach the two guys' table.
Mm-hmm.
Do a bow.
Yeah, of course, I'm acting very Chinese now.
I mean, bowing is a Japanese thing for the umpteenth time, but okay.
No, I'm
Actually,
sure
it's in both.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Cultures do it.
No,
Mm.
I asked them when I was there, and they said no, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
It's just portrayed a lot in Hollywood movies.
Yeah. Obviously the gift thing, absolutely, but not really. No, not really bowing. Not compared to Japanese. But anyway, they look worried, particularly at Liu, and they kind of put their hands up and say, "We didn't mean any harm. We just sorry."
Me neither, friend. You don't have anything to worry about. My name is Liu.
Right. Okay.
I noticed that you were looking at the general direction of a friend of mine. I didn't want him to have bothered you because, he has been a little bit of a concussion
No.
recently, so he's acting weird. I didn't want him to have offended you somehow, so I came here to apologize on his behalf.
No bother. No bother. He wasn't bothering at all. No.
Okay, well, I'm relieved. I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
It's a couple.
Mhm.
So they introduce themselves as, let's say, Jamie and Abigail.
Okay.
Both of you, if it's not already tick, to give your psychology a tick. They're obviously quite defensive because they were worried initially that you were gonna give them an eyeful and tell them to stop staring. But when you say, Liu, that your friend is being a bit weird and acting a bit weird, their reaction changes briefly, as if maybe that sounds familiar to them, or they've maybe seen this before.
I don't want to be rude asking this, but it looks like you've been in my shoes before. Am I mistaken?
They look very confused and say, "Well, we've never been to China before, if that's what you mean."
No, that's not what I mean. You see, having this challenged friend of ours, we are
Oh,
getting better at reading people's faces. It's
oh,
it's
right.
an involuntary trait that we acquired. So, given the expression you gave me, sounds like you being in our same situation. That's why I'm asking. If
No,
I'm not
no,
rude, of course.
no. You're not rude. No. If we're honest, you just reminded us of a local man who's been acting a little bit similarly since
Oh,
he came back here.
I'm
Not related to us. He's an Aboriginal.
Oh, I hope he didn't come back from China, given what you said
Well,
earlier.
I don't think
Um,
so. From what we heard, he came from Darwin.
oh,
Would it perhaps help if our nurse was to see the man? She might be able to help him.
yeah,
Well,
She certainly helped with our friend.
and
I
she's
mean,
doing an amazing job.
isn't she a bit preoccupied with your own friend? He
Well,
seems a bit high maintenance.
yes, but I'm sure she could spare a little time
Just for a quick diagnose, wouldn't hurt.
if it might
Well,
help your friend.
like I said, nothing to do with us. We've just seen him around.
Then what's your friend's name, so that we may try and pay him a visit?
Friend? No, he's not a friend.
Acquaintance. I'm sorry.
Barely. No, but it's a small town. You know, people know of everybody and what's going on. Yes. Yes, Ronnie, the high maintenance person is not you. Oh dear.
It's just
So
they were all talking about the fact, he looks very high maintenance. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. The only one who's looked like he's off his trolley at the moment is me.
So they take a look towards some of the Mullocks and say, well, normally his parents come here to drink every night, but recently they've not been in at all. We were actually wondering if he was getting worse, maybe.
Perhaps our medical team has arrived just in time. Where's his house? Where does he stay?
They give you directions. It's not far from here, like a bit further up the valley.
Awesome. That'll do for the morning then.
Mhm.
Because that'll be Johnny Big Bush.
Yeah, most definitely, if we can help.
We'll be delighted to stop by tomorrow.
And
Well-
again, I'm sorry if I don't know scared you or put you on guard. That we were just trying to apologize for our friend's behavior. So
Oh, it's all right. You've maybe it's a Chinese thing, but you always look a bit angry, so we weren't sure.
yeah, I'm sorry that this
May-
was what came through.
Maybe let me get you a drink. How about that?
No, there's no need to. But thank you for your thought, and have a pleasant evening.
Same to you. Same to you.
Enjoy
And
your
I
day.
go back to the table with Lin, hopefully.
Yeah.
They were acting weird, didn't they? Weren't they?
Well, no, we approached them. You were talking about the other couple acting weird. But it doesn't matter. We've got directions to the house of the person I believe will probably Johnny Big Bush.
Yeah, I asked his name twice. They didn't give it to me, so we can only
That's
hope.
It matches everything. Came back from Darwin, was acting strange afterwards. That sounds like Johnny Big Bush.
Yeah, everything adds up. Hopefully, we are not losing time.
No. Sounds like we're going to spend 2 weeks going to the other side of Australia and then come back again. So
Yep.
we've got until, what is it, January? And we've got a lot of people to find between now and then. A lot of volunteers.
What was I going to say? Yes, and this blood clinic thing that you were thinking about. I wasn't sure. I mean, again, it's only been like a day, but since you have the nurse, is there anything that anyone else like asks her for, or anything else that you want her to do for you before you take your leave for bed?
I'll try and
Oh,
seduce
okay.
her.
Now.
You
Yeah.
what?
I'm going to try and seduce her just because it would annoy Andrew.
Really?
Yeah,
mean,
why not?
It really wouldn't.
That's a legit thought.
How old is your character again?
Oh, that's a point. Well, hang on a minute. How old was she?
She's 25.
I'm 35. That's
Okay.
close enough.
Well, actually, you notice that when she comes in to the room, she closes the door and sort of tentatively checks, almost as if no one's hearing, and says, "I was actually hoping to speak to you privately anyway, just for a moment."
Oh,
Well, I didn't really want to say in front of your friend, Mr. McNairn. He seems quite keen in taking all of my drugs and shoving them down Alan's throat, but I've noticed occasionally on the drive here that Alan is being a little bit more mellow today, as if he's kind of having episodes of being maybe a bit bored or just not quite as motivated.
Yes, he wants. I agree with what Ronnie just wrote in the chat. What I was going to say is it's a lack of stimuli. He needs fresh stimulus.
Well, I don't even know if that's enough. That's the thing. I was trying to give him, when I was starting to see it, I was trying to give him new things to look at or talk to him about a different subject. But even then, it's as if it's not quite cutting it as it was this morning. How long has he? You said that the condition was coming back again. How long has he been like this?
Well, in this state, it's. Let's not talk about him. Let's talk about you.
To me, but look, you hired me to help him.
Yes, but you're off duty now.
Well, I suppose so, but he's in the next room.
And
You know, I'm kind of on call, right?
if he makes more noise than us, then certainly.
Well, what she undoes her top button and starts getting
Would you like
washed
some
in the
help
basin.
with that?
Oh, what do you mean? I'm just getting washed.
Very smooth.
And anyway, I don't know whether the character's going to succeed or not, but I'm not going to roleplay through trying to seeing if I can seduce her or not. But I think the character shall attempt it.
I was just trying to think, actually. How about give me a charm roll, and I'll see.
Do I spend luck? No, I fail.
Okay.
But I have a stab at it anyway.
She realizes what you're doing, and you think that she had absolutely no idea that LGBT people existed at all.
Mm-hmm.
So she's quite taken aback
Neither was
by
my
it.
character, to be honest. But
Yeah, well, your mother certainly was.
Yes, but I don't think Lin Fen thinks of it as a division of these people have this label. It's just people.
No, but as in she just has always thought, you know, man and woman, obviously.
Mm.
You know, what 2 women? Impossible. Things like that. So
What would they do together?
exactly. That's what she thinks anyway.
I
She's quite.
I actually had a friend who asked that very question.
Oh God. Well, the difference is we're 100 years later. But anyway, so she's quite taken aback by your advances, and certainly doesn't want to partake. But she tries to be polite and say, I understand. I think what you're trying to do. I didn't know that. I'm very confused, but I would appreciate it if you didn't do that again.
Certainly.
And you see that when she goes to sleep, she kind of rolls over quite tightly into a cocoon.
Butter.
And so the night falls, or rather it falls more so, and you reach the next day. Where are we up to now? So it's now the Saturday, the 27th.
I get a really nice sleep and no trouble at all.
Well, actually, I was just about to say that,
Okay.
to be honest, you don't really. it's quite different to how you've been sleeping the past few days, which has been quite peaceful and quite, sort of in your own world. You get a lot of vivid dreams, and some of them are quite terrifying, almost like psychosis sort of state. There's this strange presence that keeps crossing over your kind of regular dreams of these dazzling towers and your culture and things. Something is coming in and trying to almost taint you, which it makes you kind of jolt awake maybe every hour or two in a sweat. But you finally managed to get some more sleep at around 4 a.m. Actually, what I will say, can Andrew and Liu make me, let's see, can you make me con rolls to see if you get woken up by Alan at any point during the night?
On.
Con, please, yes.
I'm spending 1 luck to make it another pass. Sorry, not
Okay.
extreme. Not extreme.
I am not going to spend any luck. I am just going to curse the fact that no one listened to me about the sedatives because I'm not getting any bloody sleep at all. That I failed. Not by much, but I'm not spending luck.
Okay. Okay, yeah, what I'll say is that the kind of scream or like outburst, it's brief, but it's loud and it's enough to wake you up, and instinctively every time you're reminded of somebody screaming near you in the trenches and things, so it's really not nice. And at one point you contemplate, do I sleep downstairs or sleep in the car or something like that, but eventually at about 4 o'clock in the morning he does seem to settle down and you do get a little bit of sleep. However, as the sunlight starts coming through the windows and the curtains and so on, Alan, you start kind of rolling over a little bit. And to start with, everything is a little blurred, I guess. Almost like you've been underwater with your eyes open, so you're just having to kind of blink quite a lot to come to your senses. You feel like you've been somewhere far away, and now you're trying to come round. Have you been asleep for a long time? Are you unconscious? And you think you're in a bed or something like that, and then suddenly the headache comes, and it's like the worst hangover. Or let's say if every person in the world was having a hangover put together, this was what it would feel like. You feel absolutely horrendous, and you're trying to work out where on earth you are. However, as you start getting more orientated and your vision starts clearing, you start remembering little snippets of things you've seen. Could I have a power roll, please?
Power, yes, you can. That is that's a pass.
Okay, pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So you definitely remember being somewhere else, and again, you don't know where you are right now, so you're very disorientated, and you have no memory of the past few days, by the way. But yeah, you definitely remember being somewhere else and almost kind of looked at, almost like you were an animal in a zoo and watched and studied and things. And you remember hearing and seeing and smelling lots of sensations that you've never smelled before or seen or heard. But you do remember something about somebody almost kind of rationalizing with you, or maybe somebody else close to you, saying this is not right. This is not an adequate place. We will find somewhere else, and we will begin a search anew elsewhere. And then after that kind of feeling of, okay, there's that thing, we have to go and search somewhere else, it's like you can't really remember anything else after that. You are essentially now your old self again. However, given from what you can vaguely remember in snippets. I'm gonna get you to lose 2 sanity from it.
2 sanity. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't think that you've just been knocked out and taken somewhere. You think that it's been more than that.
I'll sit up and swing my legs off the bed and just hold my head in my hands. Oh God, my head! What was I drinking last night? And look around. Where are we?
Oh, welcome back, Alan.
What are you, this isn't the same room. Where the hell are we now?
Yeah, this is not the place where you passed out. We moved onward with our quest for taking down the cult. So
Yes,
we are
we're-
now in
Daily River.
Daily River. Yes.
Oh God, I remember Darwin, but
We're in Daily River. We're looking for a guy called Big Bush.
How are you feeling, mate?
terrible
What did you
headache.
see?
I can remember snippets.
Not are you all right, but what can you see? Tell us everything.
I asked him twice.
I know.
I'm not sure. I can't think straight with this headache.
Right. I'm sure the nurse will be able to. By the way, we have a nurse for you because you.
Nurse, is this a hospital?
No. But it was either get you a nurse or put you in one. You'll get all the details later, but suffice it to say, you've not been yourself the last few days. You've literally been someone else.
I've been somewhere else, I'm sure of it.
Unfortunately, it was one of those exchange programs. You went somewhere, and somewhere decided to go to you, and has been in you for the last few days, which doesn't sound as pleasant as it, might sound on.
Part of you wants to believe that you've just taken a huge dose of heroin or something like that that's just sent you on a trip, but again, part of you is thinking, no, it was too vivid.
Right, we need to. Obviously, you kind of need to tell us everything that you saw, but get your head cleared a little first.
Yeah,
get some breakfast and.
I can't see through this headache.
I mean, you can barely sit up at the moment. It's so bad. It feels like almost kind of someone's pressing on your head.
I'm going to go next door. I'm going to knock on the door.
That's the least you could do.
I'm a gentleman.
I don't think you survive it if you didn't.
It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Do you answer the door, Lin? You hear the sound of a knock.
Am I up and dressed and ready?
Well, you tell me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It does get light at around 6 o'clock in the morning in Australia.
Yeah, my experience with 35-year-olds, they're not ready at 7 in the morning.
Well, it depends if Lin's an early riser or not.
Not at that age. Few people are early risers at that age, are they?
It's up to you. In that case, then Charlotte will get up after a few seconds.
I'll be awake and complaining about it.
Who is it?
It's Andrew McNairn, nurse. Alan is complaining of a splitting headache.
Oh right, okay.
He does seem very lucid this morning, which is
Good.
something we're quite happy about. But he is complaining of really very, very strong headache.
Okay. I'm not actually decent, sir, so please don't come in.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll be dressed, so you'll be We will be decent by the time you come into the room.
I'll be right there. Give me a few moments.
No problem. Head back to the room and dress, or at least get my trousers
Yeah.
on.
You notice, Lynn, as you're waking up, that Charlotte's doing quite a lot of like shoulder rolls and stretches. You think she's been quite stiff in the night, like from tensing up.
Excellent. I have her now correctly fearing me.
Plus, within your own field of vision, she's doing all these stretching exercises.
Aerobics doesn't do it for her. So Charlotte actually comes out of the room before you're ready, Lynn, and knocks on your door. Mr. Carter?
Yes. Yes, come in. I answer for him because obviously he's barely.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on the bed, my head in my hands.
Oh dear. What's up with you today then?
Oh, I had a terrible count. I can't even see properly.
Oh, but you're talking more than usual. You're right. He is more lucid today.
As I stated, he is very, very lucid today, but
all right.
he is very much complaining of his headache.
I can give you something to take away the pain. Okay, and yeah, she organizes like a nice serum for you. Which in this case is it is basically a bit of heroin and some other stuff to take away the pain, but it's not a lot, so it's not gonna send you on a trip. Although having said that, whether you freak out about that, actually that's up to you.
I think I'm more worried about my head at the moment.
Okay,
I'll take it and I'll lie back on the bed and try until it sort of takes effect.
Yeah, it takes a little bit because she has to kind of help you move your head round to the side, or move a bit so you can actually, put it down you. But yeah, eventually, yeah, it just sort of dulls the pain. It's still there a little bit, but yeah, it dulls it so you can at least slowly sit up and move around a bit. I can get some water from the bar. Hopefully they're open. If not, I'm gonna have to find a well or some sort.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to need that.
Okay.
Thank you.
She asks you, Andrew, to stay with him for a moment or two,
Of
and
course.
she heads downstairs.
She has been. I mean, we've only had the nurse a couple of days, my friend, but she has been extremely attentive and very helpful to you. So,
Well, whatever she gave me is working. It's feeling a lot better.
excellent.
Let's get some more of that stuff.
Let's see. Okay. No problem. So she can get some. There's like a sort of a water pump just outside the bar, literally. So she'll go out and get some water for you and bring it up. I acquired a jug from downstairs. Nobody was using it, so here you go. Down your neck.
Yeah, I'll drink some of that. That's feeling a lot better.
Yeah, I will go downstairs and see if breakfast is on the go.
They're just starting to open up. It is a Saturday, so they explain that they open a little bit later, but they are just starting, so they're happy to get you something.
Excellent. We'll be down in 15, 20 minutes or so, I assume. I didn't want us to come down too early.
I've just found a rather nice picture of Charlotte, I've decided.
Oh, yes.
She got the whole uniform on as well.
No.
She'd be flipping hot.
No. No, she'll have something a bit more practical on, but that's I guess how she would be in the hospital when Lin found her.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah. So they're doing some more kind of leftovers of the bison, but
For breakfast.
it's a big animal. We
Barbecue
gotta make use of
breakfast.
it. They kind of make it more into like a stew for this one, or they say, well,
I
we
think
do
the
have
food will be getting too much for Lin Fen, to be honest. She wants
we
some
do-
fried veg or something.
yeah, we can do some fried veg. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Courgettes and
Yes, please.
yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah, and yeah, they
Feels like
get you
dinner,
some.
but I'll take it for breakfast.
Mm,
Just that
yeah.
I haven't had a good meal since arriving in Australia.
I was going to say actually, you're definitely missing rice and noodles. But yeah, so yeah, they gave you some. It's not steamed vegetables. It's a bit kind of overcooked and mushy, but it's still vegetables.
Barbecued that as well.
No, it's not burned. It's just
I
overcooked.
don't know how to prepare food in this country.
I know that you said that your characters changed a little bit, but all of your characters seem to criticize the food of other places. That is definitely a thing. But anyway, it's better than the meat anyway.
And subtle.
Yes. So yeah, Alan, you can slowly make your way downstairs. The food smells quite nice, and you realize that you've not actually eaten a lot of meat in a while, and given you're a native Australian, you do tend to eat quite a lot of meat, so it's
Okay.
quite tantalizing actually.
I'll tuck into the breakfast then, like I've not eaten in days.
Charlotte's quite taken by this. Says he's eating more meat. That's interesting.
The man-child seems to be talking.
It's really hungry at the moment. This is making my head better as well. So
Those are actual words.
You've not read a single book so far today?
oh no, but he's just got up.
She looks at the rest of you very confused.
Look,
Don't worry, we're right there with you.
It's possible that the episode has ended, Charlotte.
Oh. So does that mean that you no longer need me?
Not at all. In actual fact, I think I might have a new patient for you.
Oh, okay.
Let's have breakfast first.
All right. And she takes a look at Andrew and Liu. Presumably, she thinks it's one of them.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I may ask.
Yeah, I saw
I may
that
ask-
coming.
I may ask our services sooner rather than later, given my mental state.
Okay. I mean, I'll say that you can kind of catch her after breakfast. Do you need anything medical? If you don't mind me saying, I've noticed that you've not always been yourself, and you did look a little worse for wear when I first bumped into you.
What's for what?
Worse for wear. And she kind of gestures at your face, at your healing scratches.
Oh yeah, no, that's nothing. I cannot shave properly.
Oh, right. And she looks confused because some of them are kind of up here and here.
That's how badly he shaves.
You use a fan. Well, what would you like? Some sleeping drafts or laudanum or got some heroin if you need some heroin.
From a player perspective, would heroin help with the indefinite insanity? I don't believe it would.
It
You'd
would
be tripping
probably.
you'd be tripping too much to be aware of it.
No, it's not LSD, it's heroin. I would say that it would probably dumb it down for a bit, but I think mechanically I would do it a bit like if you're a non-believer, so it will come to you when it wears off.
Wait, I am a believer.
Yeah, but as in, if you took some heroin, then once it wore off, if you were to suffer any sanity loss, what I'm saying is you would get it after. So when it's wearing off, a bit like if you're a non-believer and you read a shifty book sort of thing.
No, I just tell her that I'm looking to find some sort of, could say, closure for something I've experienced that are still bothering me mentally to this day. So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
really something that painkillers or opioids can really
Okay.
cure.
She asks Lin if it's okay, but she is happy to, speak with you, maybe go on a walk with you, if the fresh air will help.
You're your own woman, do your own thing.
Okay, then. Whilst Giorgio's BRB in a second, so they're going to go off and basically, I'll say that mechanically speaking, it'll be kind of psychological help. So what are the three of you doing in the meantime?
Well, we've got directions last night to a house where there is an artist, I believe. So I'm actually going to sort out the pictures I got that were drawn by Johnny Bigbush.
Mm-hmm.
They might come in useful, especially if the nurse is busy this morning. Then I'm not going to take that angle to go in.
Yeah.
So I'll take the art instead. And I guess we'll head over to Johnny Bigbush's house. And on the way there, I'll see if I can talk to the band child and see if he continues to form words. And I'm curious, actually, as to what he saw on the other side,
Yes,
whilst the alien was in his body.
I'm extremely curious about that.
And I'll be curious about what actually happened.
Well, it was like a child sniffing carpets. And... a good artist, though.
Absolutely, did a
Well, we
lot of
still
reading.
have his papers, don't we?
Yes, we could show him some of the artwork he did while he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I won't believe I drew that. It's too good.
Here's what you drew when you weren't there to draw it.
I suppose I just get some like vague impressions of large buildings and strange shaped people, but not people.
Were you in one of those bodies?
Yes, I said it seemed to be one of them.
Because we managed to make contact with them whilst you were over there, and they mentioned that you were struggling to walk, and it was hilarious to them.
It was very different.
I have to say, they struggled to walk in your body.
Yes, they don't have legs.
But the
They
thing
don't
that
have
put me
legs.
over the edge was the stiffing the carpet.
Everything's different. They're just trying to learn as much as they can. Everything's they don't have carpet as.
Well, they unfortunately didn't come to a civilized country to learn from, so I don't know if we could teach them much.
Yeah. That's this thing that I heard that there just wasn't enough here to occupy them.
Quite. I can relate to the feeling.
Did you say, sorry, that the three of you were on the way to Johnny's house? Yes, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because you said you and Charlotte were going to go for a walk.
That's right, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, you head on up the road. And if, interestingly, all of you pass spot hidden by varying amounts, so if you haven't got a tick, then go ahead. But as you approach the house, all of you notice that one of the window panes is cracked, and possibly, who was it who rolled pretty much bang on extreme? I think it was Lin, actually. You think it's recent.
Stain is still on from whatever struck it. I guess, or something. Does it look like it's cracked from inside or outside? And what does it look like has struck it? A small object, large?
No, large. It's cracked kind of in a few places. It's not completely shattered the window or anything, but you definitely think there's something big and blunt has hit it and caused trauma from the
From
inside.
the inside.
Yeah.
Okay, he's truly lunatic then. That'll be interesting and fun. Knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door, and there is no answer.
Draw my pistol.
Shout up, have you heard the good news? No, I'll...
Wilderness cookies.
Perhaps we should have a look around the back. There might be at the rear of the building.
Yeah.
I'll wander off around the back. I'll do a circuit around the building if I can.
Okay.
Alan, are you sure you just got back and already you're making like a burglar?
I'm just going to walk around the building. Stop burglary.
Okay. There's kind of only one side you can properly get round to get to the backyard. There's like a little bit of sort of garden and stuff outside. Anyway, are you looking through the windows around the back? Are you?
No, I'll just see if there's anybody at the back. If there's any signs of anybody.
Okay, fair enough. No, there isn't. You do notice that there is like a back door and a bit of a patio, and the back door is ajar by the looks of it. But no, there's nobody out here or outside.
I'll go back to the front and I'll say to the other two that the back door seems to be open.
Okay, we can go in. We can do two from the front and two from the back
You
door.
are taking a walk, young man.
You're not there.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm not. Sorry.
You're
Where's
having
that shepherd's crook?
you're having quality time with the nurse.
I tried it didn't work for me. I'll have a look through this front cracked window you said, didn't you? Okay, then yeah, let's all just go around the back, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
As you get round through the door, you head into the kitchen. There's like a little sort of boot area, shall I say, a boot room, and then you head in through to the kitchen. There's a couple of smashed bits of porcelain, maybe plates or cups or something. And then what I'll say is, I'll say Alan, as you start heading through with the others into the next room, which you presume is like a living room or dining room of sorts, you feel something drop on your hair.
Okay, I'll stop and sort of stand back and look up.
Okay. Anyone who's looking up, you're seeing the sight of blood leaking through the ceiling. And we are going to leave it there for today.
Okay.
What could go wrong?
Well, we didn't bring the indefinitely insane person, so you're not running off down the street naked right now shooting people. So that's a positive. I think.
That's a big plus. Yes.
When has that ever happened, though, in Cthulhu? Running down the street naked shooting people?
Could happen.
Yeah, I
fact
don't
that
GM often enough for that to happen, do I?
The fact
my go-to.
that no one's ever done that before doesn't mean it can't happen.
Next episode.
Next episode.
That's always one episode away.
Cool. I hope you enjoyed that.
Indeed,
So,
as always.
yeah, in terms of next week, then, is that going to be a no, given where, like, for example, Ronnie's going to be down here?
Ronnie's going to be down here,
difficult.
but like, computer's not a problem. Room is perhaps a problem. I don't know where we'd set him up.
I'm not going to have my laptop with me, which means I'm not going to have my character.
We have
sheet with me.
computers.
We
That's
have
not an issue.
we have computers. The main thing I was thinking of was things like a character sheet.
Yeah, you can forward that via email, so it's not really an issue.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I can do
don't know
it.
Where it'd have to be perhaps. If we went in the painting studio, you'd hear echo.
Yeah, you should. You should work with I have the mic open, he doesn't. So that there's no feedback.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
The only other suggestion is if he sat with you, maybe.
What
Yeah,
about
if
one
you're
set of
doing-
headphones?
Yeah.
Together via
Well, not one
speakers.
set of headphones, but like if there was like a double thing.
Well, there isn't.
Or either you have as a switch to having 2 set of headphones, or you can do that via speaker if you have a
The
separate
speaker will just
microphone.
echo back.
Yeah.
I don't know how we'd get 2 sets. Well, I could do it with an audio repeater. Actually, I do have some audio repeater software, but there's always a delay on that. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is no issue for me to playing next Monday, although it is an issue to play Saturday.
Well, we can't because we're doing
Okay.
birthday shenanigans.
yeah,
Perfect.
no good again next Saturday. I think we'll keep trying, but I think December might be a bit tricky this year. I don't know. Maybe next weekend might be all right. Don't know. Like one after next weekend, I mean.
I'll be back by then, so yeah.
Yeah, I might get a game in then for that one.
Yeah, that weekend's okay for me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. The weekend of Christmas, Christmas Day, obviously, is a no-no.
Yeah, big no.
As would be the 27th for masks, because
You're at your mum's, aren't you?
I'm still down at family.
Yeah, yeah.
Watching Hallmark.
Yeah, I'll be at work again, so that's really not an issue for me to play on the 27th, but I can see why it would be for some.
Well, look,
Trust
I mean,
Trust me. The choices are play in a very vicious, nasty, blood-curdling horror game, or suffer Hallmark.
that's not to say we couldn't maybe do a one shot with the people that are around.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
So we can look at that at the time.
I won't actually have to suffer Hallmark that day.
Okay, so are we penciling in then next Monday? As a yes.
Could be
I
for
don't
me.
know.
It really depends on your settings. On your settings.
I think I can reroute to another set of speakers. I'm just not sure because then how would the audio jack? I don't know. I might have to try this computer with 2 sets of speakers, see if I can get it to work. Because it's possible we could maybe do it from one machine. In which case, bring your character sheet and headphones. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work technically. And I'm tired right now, and it's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we can chat about it then.
we can discuss it in the next days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll cut the broadcast there, and we may or may not see you on Monday. We shall see.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night,
Well,
everybody.